This cutie patootie might just be the best-selling foldable phone of all time. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to my 3 weeks later review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3. Beyond the hype, beyond everything, let's get it all unfold in this video. Now, I actually switched from the Galaxy S21 Ultra, which was my previous main Android phone, to the Z Flip 3, and I've been getting quite a lot of questions between these two devices because apparently the pricing is very similar. Both phones are coming at $999. The S21 Ultra has better specs, but this thing completely folds and opens a new form of usage that is just not possible on a traditional smartphone. Before I talk about the Galaxy Z Flip 3, I want to say something about the traditional smartphones. These are great phones, like actually really good phones, but the problem is there are many like them exist in the market. For example, if you ask me that you want to buy something like the S21 Ultra in the market, I will say go for Mi 11 Ultra. Like, there's so many options, they all share the same DNA. We get high resolution displays, multiple cameras, periscope zoom, all that good stuff. If you ask me that you want to buy something that is entirely different, something that is super unique, no one else is doing, then Galaxy Z Flip 3 is that phone for you. With that being said, I feel like this phone genuinely has potential to become Samsung's phone of the year, but at the same time, it's probably not for everyone. Okay, so the biggest thing that I love about this phone is hands down its design. It's super premium and the hinge feels so much better, like so much stronger than last year's model. Like, you actually feel like you're getting a quality upgrade, a quality durability upgrade that you can actually depend on. And did I mention that this thing is IPX8 water and dust resistant, which is incredible and for the first time happening on a foldable phone? Like, there's nothing that you can criticize Samsung about when it comes to the design. It's just so good. And it just flips into this incredibly small little package, and you don't actually realize this until you use this phone on daily basis, how much lighter it is in your hand, in your pocket, compared to your traditional smartphone. Like, all smartphones have some kind of weight and they take a lot of space in your pocket. This thing is just super sleek, super classy. Every time I pull it out of my pocket and do this, people are always turning head, always asking which phone it is, because this is different. Now, with this beautiful design, you also get multiple colors, and this one is the cream white color. It looks really clean. One of my favorite things about the Z Flip 3 is that big outer display. Samsung has definitely done their homework when it comes to designing this thing. So you can swipe around, take a look at the widgets, from weather to your schedule. You can check out your alarm, Samsung Health, voice recorder, and you got the timer. Now, these are all customizable, so you can turn some options off if you don't want them there. And if you go all the way back and swipe right, you can see all your notifications, so you can scroll up and see pretty comfortably everything that's happening, and you don't have to open your phone in order to read these. I can just tap on a notification, and from there on I can do the desired action. The only thing that I would have loved is the ability to actually reply to messages using this outer screen, which is something that you can't do at the moment. Now, one of the best thing about this camera is that you can actually double tap the power button to launch the camera. Now, this is where all the magic happens. You can swipe left and right and switch between the photo and the video mode. If you swipe up and down, you can switch between the lenses. So we have the 0.5x ultra wide angle lens, and then of course the main lens, so you get the full quality for your selfies. And it's actually a pretty decent display. Like, you can look at yourself while recording video. You can technically do vlogging. I mean, it's not quite big, but it's a much better improvement, and it allows you to take selfies comfortably using this screen. But it's still big enough, and the controls are very simple. Also, you can directly control the brightness of your outer screen right from the outer screen without opening the phone. And with that, you can also change the sound profile of your device. Now, the outer screen, or I should say the cover screen, is completely customizable. So you go into the clock style, you can choose a bunch of different options from the built-in ones, or you can actually select your own background image from your wallpapers or your gallery. So I can put any image I want. Let's just put my own face here, and you can see it shows the preview. I can actually zoom in and set whatever I want. Once you've set the image, you can also play with the colors of the clock text, how you want it to appear. So I'm just going to go with this bluish color, and let's go done. And now if I just do this, you can see your boy there looking pretty sharp and of course my favorite blue color is on the timer text. You don't have to just use the built-in ones, literally anything you can use right from your gallery for your outer display. Now, one of the biggest improvement with the Z Flip 3 is with its main display. So this is now a 120Hz panel. Finally, it's super bright compared to the last year's model. I had no problems whatsoever in terms of, using it outdoor. The crease is definitely still visible, but when the display is on and when you're actually using it and looking at the content, it doesn't bother with your experience. The one thing that's absolutely going to be noticeable is that this is actually a slimmer or narrower display compared to the traditional smartphone screen that we have on the S21 Ultra. And you really see the difference when you're actually watching YouTube videos. So the sidebars on the Z Flip 3 are a little bit more compared to the S21 Ultra. So if you actually pinch to zoom, you will see that the content actually crops a bit more on the Flip 3. So this is something that I noticed right away when watching YouTube videos, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I think it's going to be the same thing with other apps as well, with Netflix, but it's just a slight crop, not a big deal. Now, speaking of the display, the ability to flip opens a world of possibilities. So this, what I'm doing right now, is what Samsung calls as flex mode. So there are a couple of applications that support the flex mode, such as the camera app. So it goes into this split screen mode where you get controls at the bottom, you can take photo, you can basically use your phone as a tripod. But now, thanks to the new One UI 3.1.1 update, Samsung actually brings some new features in the labs option. So that is the flex mode panel option, where you see list of applications, whether they're supported or not. You can actually enable the flex mode for them. So for example, I've enabled the flex mode for Instagram. By default, it's not supported, but let me just quickly demonstrate how it actually looks. So if I open up the Instagram app, here we go. You can see that it quickly goes into this flex mode, and I can scroll up and down, look at my post and stuff, and then of course at the same time use this bottom screen. So we have a couple of controls. This one is of course bringing down that notification panel. You can take a screenshot, you can also change the brightness, and once again you have the sound profile option. Now with the Instagram app, it's not that much ideal, I gotta say. I never actually used this with Instagram in my actual usage, but with supported apps like Camera and of course with YouTube, this is definitely something that you can use. Especially with YouTube, you can watch the videos on the upper area, while with the bottom screen you can swipe down, look at the comments, and look at the related videos. So overall, it's nice that Samsung actually built some multitasking features with this flex mode. Now let's talk about that million-dollar question that I've been getting all week, which is regarding the cameras. Now this is definitely not Samsung's best camera. That is something that you get on the S21 Ultra. You don't get the periscope zoom, you don't get that 108 megapixel lens. Instead, you have what I call optimal dual 12 megapixel setup. Now, if Samsung were to use the periscope system on this one, it would have really affected the look of this device. So I don't mind losing on the periscope zoom, but I would have loved to see that main ISOCELL HM3 sensor instead of this one. So how is the image quality? Well, the images out of this sensor is still flagship level quality. Like, do not forget that this is still a flagship level sensor. Especially outdoor images are actually very similar to what you can get on the S21 Ultra. It's all about Samsung's image processing, great HDR performance, super fast autofocus. You can record videos up to 4K 60 FPS, no 8K, but in my opinion, that's a bit gimmicky and overkill. So you only need 4K on your smartphone. As for the front display, we have a 10 megapixel selfie sensor that can take pretty sharp photos and of course take 4K 60 FPS videos. The biggest difference that I've noticed with camera on the Z Flip 3 compared to the S21 Ultra is definitely with the low light performance. So you do get better details on the S21 Ultra, and even when compared to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you have better results. So yeah, understandably, it's not the absolute best camera sensor from Samsung. Still, 90% of people who would actually go for the Z Flip 3 won't be disappointed with its camera performance. Now, while there may be some differences when it comes to the hardware, you actually get quite a lot of similar features software-wise. We've literally got all the camera features, including the Pro mode and Pro video mode. And if I go all the way here, we have the single take on the Flip 3 as well. Now, something that did disappoint me was the fast charging speed. Like, this thing only has 15-watt fast charging. What the hell, Samsung? This phone in 2021, a flagship $1,000 phone, is coming with only 15-watt fast charging, which is even less than what my iPhone supports, which we know iPhones are traditionally bad with with fast charging. The battery right now is at 34%. It's still going to take 1 hour and 6 minutes until the full complete charge. It's really weird that Samsung made this decision. I mean, all Samsung flagship phones have at least 25 watt of fast charging, and maybe the reason behind this slow fast charging is because Samsung wants the battery health to be maximum for as long as possible. That's the only logical explanation that I can give behind this move. Now, what about the actual battery life? The battery life of the Z Flip 3 is, I will say, okayish. I mean, it's not gonna impress anyone, but also at the same time, it's not gonna disappoint most people. Now, if you're a heavy user and if you're gonna play a lot of games, then this will definitely not gonna last you a full day. You would have to charge this phone. I was barely getting through the day, but it was fine. It was nothing deal breaker or anything. And I realize now that I've actually utilized the outer display a lot more, and that actually helped me in conserving the battery far more compared to someone who's just gonna use this main display. Now, as for the performance, we have Snapdragon 888 chip on the Z Flip 3, which brings it on par with the S21 lineup. Actually, a little bit better than the international Galaxy S21 series model, the ones that come with the Exynos 2100. Even with 8 gigs of RAM, I've not noticed any closing of application. It just keeps everything in the background. So all in all, the Z Flip 3 is an incredible device, and it has the potential, like I said in the beginning of the video, that it has the potential to become Samsung's phone of the year. I feel like Samsung has taken the most decisions right. We have optimal specs, except the battery, except that fast charging decision. Again, that could be because they want to conserve as much battery health as possible in terms of the long-term users. So with that being said, that's it for my 3 weeks later review of the Z Flip 3. Am I gonna go back to the S21 Ultra? Definitely not, because this thing, it makes my life so much easier because of its size, its pocketability, and of course it actually changes my core experience. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this kind of a raw cut review, let me know in the comments below. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.